Hi all. All right, so I want to go over some of the issues that came up with your proposals for your final project. Some general advice on how to be successful with this. I just this is the major project. This is the one that's going to to count the most here. So I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm quite available to sit in front of something like this and go over your project with you, talk to you, whatever you want to do. Um, so let's get started here. So one of the first things that I want to talk about, and I just hit on it briefly, and perhaps I should come back to it a little bit, which I'm going to do right now, is bluff formatting, bottom line up front. Prioritizing your writing so that you introduce the most important thing first, and then go from there. In business writing, you should do this all the time, really. Emails, definitely. I don't like I said in the previous recording. I don't know how many times I've written an email to colleagues here on campus, and I have something in the last two lines that if you read through the whole email and actually got to those last two lines, you wouldn't be asking the questions that you're asking in your follow-up email. So you've got to be, people's time is important. People's time is important in all walks of life. Be respectful of your audience. Put the most important things first. Prioritize your writing. This means making a list of the points that you want to make and putting them in some kind of order. So whenever you introduce your problem, make sure you get to the most important thing first. Whenever you do and your audience selection, your audience analysis, make sure that you're addressing the most important people first. All of this. The same goes whenever you're writing your cover letters. I didn't grade on this I didn't even discuss this back then. But when you're writing your cover letters for job applications, bottom line up front, get to the most important thing first. And then go from there. So I'm going to be looking over here a bit because I've got notes on another computer here. So all right. So first things first, audience analysis. Be specific. Identify a person that you are going to address this to. That means doing a little bit of research. It might mean making some phone calls. But find out try to figure out the person that could implement the change that you are proposing. Often this person might be able to advocate for you. Maybe you know this person, and they know they can vouch for you, and they can get something done. Sometimes there's an intermediary where somebody is an advocate for you to reach somebody that's higher up. So think about that. Um, um, Interviews. You are welcome to reach out to people and get a bit of information on your problem that you might not have access to. So don't feel free to do things of that nature. I don't think it's required in this assignment, as I do require it in my face to face spring and fall courses. All right, so interviews. What is next? I think that's pretty much it for audience analysis. Perhaps I should move this here; it'd be easier. Um, I think that's pretty much it for audience analysis. Like I said, idea specific person. Um, um, just consider who your audience is, and then if it's relevant, how you fit in there. Tone. This comes in with audience analysis. Consider your tone. You don't always want to be demanding or alienate people, like I talked about in the last video, diminishing a person's worth, and in their position. Make sure you're considerate of this. After this is read, how are you going to be received, especially if you are part of that organization? So consider your tone. Be respectful. Try not to alienate people with with your writing. So the problem itself, again, be specific. If you tell me something, I'm going to use the same examples I just used. If you tell me something's a benefit, what kind of benefit? Not just something being a benefit isn't a benefit. Things can be beneficial in so many different ways if you really sit and think about it. And so make sure that you are specific about what these benefits might be, what issues there are. If there are communication issues, be specific about where you see a breakdown in communication, something along those lines. So be very detailed about your issue. Another thing, and this kind of works with tone as well, make this. Try not to be very you-centric with this. If the issue has arisen because of something that has happened to you personally, that's fine, and it's appropriate to address that. But it's going to reach your audience better if you make it more universal. How does this affect not only you but others in the organization? If it's just a you problem, it might be dismissed. So you want it to be received as well. So try not to make this so you-centric. Try to universalize the problem a bit. Counter arguments. You've got to consider the counter arguments that are going to come up. Regarding your issue. I've said this to a few of you in previous videos, previous comments. Pretend like you're standing in front of a boardroom. Pretend you're actually presenting this to an audience, and there's going to be a question and answer period. Are you prepared to answer and address the issues that are going to come up? Because people are going to push back. Cost, is this feasible time-wise? Cost issues. Those are the two that come to mind right off the bat. But really sit down and brainstorm counter arguments to your proposal, and be prepared for that, and include that in your final project. Make sure that you at some point address your credentials. Why are you an authority on this? What makes you the person to be making this proposal? And so just make sure that gets worked in somewhere. I'm pretty sure most of these are covered in the assignment sheet. If they're not, they are now, because that's what this is about. I want to see these issues addressed, and it'll just make for a much more successful paper. Trust me on that. So that's pretty much it. I don't want to go quite as long as I went with the other one. Again, any questions, come visit me in the chat room on Thursday. Send me an email. I've been getting back to most of you within an hour or so, unless it's on the weekend. Then that time is mine a bit. Any questions, send me an email, come to the chat room, and good luck. So great talking to you. Bye-bye.